help an old woman, young man?
Thank you once again for saving Sir Hans's life, and mine. I promised I'd pay you back, and I keep my word. So please accept this token of gratitude on behalf of me and Sir Hans.
Thank you, Henry. You're an honourable man who doesn't make promises lightly. I'll put it aside for Pablena. And since you're here, would you help an old woman with something? It's about Pablena.
Has something happened?
My daughter, Pablena. Remember her? She was here when I was healing you two.
I remember. What's wrong with her?
She's missing. It's not like her to be wandering around like that. She goes to Troskovitz to sell baskets, but she knows I can't manage on my own, so she never stays away for long. These old eyes of mine can't see nothing much. Pablena has to take care of me. She's a good girl, that lass of mine. I'm very worried about her. You understand? What if something's happened to her? God forbid. I can't look for her myself, but you could. I know I'm asking a lot of you, but I've no one else to turn to.
Do you think anyone might want to hurt Pablena?
These are evil times, Henry. I dread to think what could happen to a young girl alone on the road. And besides, the folk in Troskovitz ain't too fond of us.
What have the Troskovitz people got against you? Did something happen?
I'd rather not talk about it, Henry. I wouldn't want you to get the wrong impression about us.
But what if her disappearance is connected with it? Tell me about it, good wife.
Well, we haven't always lived here in the rocks, you know. We're from Troskovitz originally.
Right. And how come you left?
Left? They threw us out. A childbirth went awry, and we were driven away by all the lies told about us.
Went awry? What happened?
I don't want to talk about it. I'm sure the good folk of Troskovitz will be only too keen to tell you.
Where exactly was Pablena going?
To Troskovitz. She was taking wicker baskets she'd made. She sells them there and uses the coin to buy what we need. Sometimes it takes her a while, but this time she said she'd be right back. I have a bad feeling about this.
Did it occur to you she might have run off? She's a young girl, and pretty. What kind of life does she have here in the woods? Maybe she wanted to live a little.
You don't know Pablena. She's not like that. If she wanted to live a little, she'd tell me straight out. She doesn't keep things from me. Don't imagine I keep her here against her will, or that I don't know what it means to be young.
Pablena is young, and well, no offence, but you seem a little old to be her mother. Is she really your daughter?
She is. Not by birth, but that doesn't change anything. Her mother died in childbirth, and there was no one but me to take care of her.
And who was Pavlena's birth mother?
A girl from the charcoal burners. They left the county, and I think she had no one else. I buried her myself. No one came for her.
And do you know anything about Pavlena's father?
I don't know who he was. Pavlena's mother was very young, and the fella surely abandoned her when her belly grew. She never told me nothing about him.
Well, as a midwife, I'm sure you've seen it often that, that the mother doesn't survive childbirth.
All too often, lad. But that's the lot of women. Or is it any different where you're from?
No, it's not. True enough.
See then? Now, can we just keep our minds on Pablena?
All right, good wife. I'll try to find Pablena for you.
Thank you, Henry. Like I said, she was heading for Troskovitz. You should start looking there.
All right. I'll ask around there for her.
And maybe you could look in her room in the loft. My old legs ain't up to climbing stairs, but you might find some clues there.
Pavlena. What have you left for me? Like she got up and went straight out. Hey, this is a boy's cap. Does Pavlena wear it? Or did someone leave it here? She's got unfinished work here. I had a look in Pavlena's place in the loft.
And? Did you find anything?
I found a cap there. A man's cap. I don't suppose Pavlena would wear something like that.
You're saying she had some young man here? I'd surely have noticed.
I don't know, good wife. I'm just saying what I found.
Could she have found herself a beau in Troskovitz?
She's got unfinished work there. She weaves baskets.
Aye, she usually has a few on the go. But she took them to the market in Troskovitz. We've got nothing here but what we make ourselves, or find in the woods. Pavlena weaves baskets very nicely. Folk buy them from her. Take care now. You pooch.
Guten Tag, mein Freund. Schön,
I'm searching for Pavlena from Zhelyov. She comes here selling baskets. Do you know anything about her?
that herb woman Bozena's daughter. I don't know nothing about her, and I don't want to know. They ain't welcome here.
Welcome, sir. What can I do for you?
Have you seen a young girl selling baskets here? Her name is Pavlena.
I think I remember her. I bought baskets from her once, and they were very finely made. But that was some time ago. Greetings, sir.
Bailiff and something about natural rights or some such nonsense.
So wie immer also.
If I may be so...
Do you know anything about Pavlena from Zhelyov? A young girl. She comes here selling ointments, baskets and stuff. She's gone missing, and I'm trying to find her.
Aha. You mean that girl who hangs around with young Roman from the woodcutters? Better to ask him. I don't know her much.
Hey, Roman!
You're looking for Roman? I also need to find him. To ask if he knows where Pavlena is.
That sweetheart of his? Well now, I hadn't thought of that. They could be together somewhere, so you can help me look for him.
Where do you think Pavlena and Roman might be?
Not long ago, Roman was talking over a beer about how him and Pavlena wanted to leave and start a new life. Somewhere where no one knows her and her ma.
You think they'd really do it?
I took it all with a grain of salt, but after what he told me last time, anything is possible. For Christ's sake, he's got a whole house his pa left him. He wouldn't just leave it on account of her, would he?
Well, I don't think either that Pavlena would just run off and leave her mother alone.
You never know with women. What's more... No, I shouldn't say nothing about that. Best to go and look in Roman's house. He wouldn't just leave empty-handed, right?
Wait, though. What was it you were going to say about Pavlena? What did Roman tell you? Why would he want to move away with Pavlena now?
No, I shouldn't have said anything. I promised I wouldn't tell anyone.
Listen, I really need to know about it. It might be important. Something could have happened to Pavlena, and any little thing could be a clue.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. It ain't really a little thing. Well, it is and it isn't. Pavlena is expecting a child. It's Roman's bastard.
Really? And who else knows about it?
Roman says he told only me. But who Pavlena might have told, I couldn't say. I don't reckon she's got many friends, though.
Now I see why they wanted to leave together.
Aye, that's just what I was thinking. We really should check out Roman's house. Then we'd know for sure.
All right. Let's go and take a look at Roman's.
Great. That is, you can go there.
Hang on, you said you two were friends. Why would I go there alone?
For one thing, I have to work. And besides, how would it look if anyone saw me breaking down his door? My reputation would be ruined. Whereas you, no offense, you're a stranger. You don't have to worry about your good name, do you? But me, I'd lose my livelihood.
How do I get into Roman's house?
Through the door, of course. Only it's locked. I tried it. You'll have to figure something out.
Well, I can do it. But you ought to give me something. For insurance. I'm the one sticking my neck out here. Well, if I'm caught there, I'll need a few groschen to bribe the catchpoles. So I don't end up in the stocks.
True enough. Here you are. This ought to do it. After you search the place, come back and let me know what you found. I'll be around here somewhere.
Nobody home. But maybe Pavlena was here. It's set for 2. Freshly eaten. And there are the baskets Pavlena came here to sell. They were here for sure. Maybe they just went for a stroll. Dushko might know about their favorite spots.
Good doggy, good boy.
I searched Roman's house.
And what did you find?
Now, there's no one there, but Pavlena had been there for sure. The table was set for 2, and I found the baskets that she sells too.
You're right. It sure does look like she was there.
It can't have been long ago either. The food was still fresh. Any idea where they might have gone?
Well, they've got a favorite spot down by the stream. You could try looking there.
Where exactly?
There's a ditch leading from Roman's house to the stream. Follow it down the hill. When you come to a place where the stream flows between the 2 big boulders, turn left and go straight. There it is, under an old linden tree.
All right. Thank you.
But, mind you don't walk into the middle of anything, awkward. And tell that lazy bastard to get his ass to work. I'm not going to do his work for him. Farewell, my friend.
Christ, there must have been a fight here. This must be the place Dushko was telling me about. How the local lads bring their girls over here. It's covered in blood. Used as a weapon, maybe. This is surely Pavlena's. A piece of her dress. This doesn't look good. If I give it to Mutt to sniff, he might catch a scent. Search!
Stop there! Don't come not another step. I swear I'll do her in if you come any closer. Don't move, you horse son. Who the fuck are you?
My name is Henry. I'm from Skalitz.
And what the fuck do you want here, Henry of Skalitz? Who sent you?
Her mother sent me. She's worried about Pablena.
Shit. I might have known that old witch would send someone. Kurva. I never wanted it to end like this. You gotta believe me. I just wanted to give Pavlena a scare, but then that fool Roman got mixed up in it and... I never meant to kill anyone! Shit!
Take it easy.
Don't fucking tell me to take it easy! How did you get here? My dog Bristly was guarding the entrance. What did you do to him, you bastard? And where's my brother? He should have been here long ago. Talk, or I'll slit her throat.
Your dog was outside, all right, but he paid no attention to me. It's always been like that with me and dogs. I suppose I smell good to them.
Lucky for you. Otherwise Bristly would rip your ass off.
Your brother is fine. He sent me here to talk to you. He doesn't want you to kill Pavlena.
Why would he take you into his confidence?
I promised him help. And I can help you, too.
Quiet, damn it! I have to think.
Why are you doing this? Why pick on Pavlena?
It's Yakesh's doing. Bozhena killed his son. He was always on about paying her back for it. And he's got a huge fucking farm and 2 daughters to marry off. He'd never give them to ordinary farmhands, unless he owed them a debt.
So you did it to get into his good books?
It was the only way. I don't want to spend my whole life shoveling shit.
What are you talking about? Who did you kill?
That idiot Roman. He was trying to defend Pavlena. But it was an accident!
I don't know what more I can tell you. It's time for you to make your mind up. Look, let Pavlena go, and I swear I'll let you walk away unharmed.
How do I know you're not lying?
I swear it.
That means nothing. And anyway, what would I do then? She knows everything. She'll tell on me and I'll be fucked.
You still have a way out. You let her go, and I'll persuade her to keep her mouth shut. I swear to you, she won't tell anyone anything. Isn't that right, Pavlena?
Sakra. Oh, all right. I'll let her go. And I hope you two aren't lying to me. I can always find you again.
I'll give you my word. And now set her free.
All right, all right. Just take it easy.
You
I'm
swine!
letting her go.
Die!
Look!
Die! Die! That's for Roman! You bastard!
You killed him? But he let you go.
So what? He deserved nothing better.
No, you're right. He had it coming.
Yes, for what he did to Roman. I have to get out of here. Will you take me back home?
Sorry, but I want to clear something up before we go.
What's that?
I know you're expecting Roman's child.
You know? But how?
Roman's friend Dushko told me.
Roman and me, we wanted to leave here and get married, but now... You won't tell Ma, will you?
Why not?
I'm afraid. Ma knows how to, get rid of a child. I'm afraid after what happened to Roman, she'd want to take the baby from me.
Don't worry. I won't breathe a word to anyone.
All right.
Are you all right? You're not hurt?
No, I'm fine. Just a few scratches. It's nothing.
How did you get here?
Me and Roman were going down to the stream. He went back to get something, and I went on ahead. Those two bastards jumped me by the stream. I don't know what they wanted to do to me, but Roman stepped in. Only one of them grabbed a rock and...
I know. You don't have to say any more.
When it was all over and Roman was lying on the ground, Otter tied me up and dragged me here. I tried to make a run for it, but that bastard set his dog on me.
Do you know why they wanted to hurt you?
Jakesh put them up to it. For a long time after they chased us out, I didn't dare go to Troskovitz. Ma always warned me not to. Only then, I met Roman. I should have known the people there hadn't forgotten about us. And that Jakesh still wanted revenge.
Tell me something about Roman. What was he like?
He was a woodcutter in Troskovitz. We were... together. Sorry. I can't talk about it now.
What exactly happened? How did Roman die?
He was trying to protect me. If he hadn't come along, I don't know what those beasts would have done to me. Only that big brute grabbed a rock and smashed Roman over the head with it. He fell straight to the ground. I could swear he was looking at me the whole time, even though he was lifeless, like he was trying to tell me to run.
That's all I need to know.
So, can we please go now?
We can go. I'll go with you.
Good. I don't want to spend another moment here.
Of course.
Let's go then.
Here we are. Pavlena's fine.
Pablena, let me look. Are you all right?
I'm fine, Ma. They
They abducted her.
God almighty. Who would do such a thing?
They were hired hands from Troskovitz.
And did they do anything to you?
No, they just tied me up. But they were Jakesh's hands. They would have killed me.
Jakesh? I might have known he wouldn't leave us in peace. Hasn't he hurt us enough already? Isn't it enough that we have to live here because of him?
Ma.
I knew it would come to this. Henry, I need one last service from you.
I'd be glad to help.
Jakesh is to blame for everything. For us being driven out, for Pavlena being abducted.
And for everything else.
Everything leads back to him and his old hatred. We'll never have peace as long as he's alive.
What are you trying to say?
I want you to kill him.
What? Are you serious?
Yes. It's either him or us.
What happened between you and Jakesh?
That's old history.
It was because of him that they drove us out of Troskovitz.
You lived in Troskovitz?
For generations. I was the midwife there for years, just like my ma before me. So many children we brought into the world. Jakesh is too, except for one.
What happened?
The birth started sooner than it should have, and Jakesh didn't send for us on time. He thought since Ludmilla had already given birth to 3 children, she'd managed the 4th on her own. Little Marushka came to get us, though, but by the time we arrived, it was looking bad. I did what I could. I gave her poultices and herbs to inhale, but the child was feet first and wouldn't come out. No matter what we did, it clung on and wouldn't budge. In the end, it died. When we finally got it out, it was too late.
He was, ripped apart. I remember that.
Pavlena. It was a boy. Jakesh's only son. He wouldn't listen. He had to look at him. Right after, he threw us out. Ludmilla died during the night, probably all alone. from exhaustion and pain, or maybe distress. Yakesh blamed us for everything, and the whole village listened to him. They drove us out.
Past the boundary stone.
Yakesh turned all his anger and hatred against us. But it was us who tried to save his son.
I don't think it was your fault. These things just happen in life sometimes.
Aye. Everyone dies.
Yes.
I understand. And I agree. I'll do what you ask. It's only right and just.
You will? It really must have been the will of God that you crossed our path. Thank you, Henry.
Who are you praying for?
For my son, Yaroslav.
How come he's buried there and not at the cemetery?
He died during birth and was never christened, so he couldn't be buried in the cemetery.
God have mercy. I'm sorry about that.
Aye, me too. If it hadn't been for that treacherous old hag, he wouldn't be here under a tree. He'd be in the churchyard, as he ought to be. The poor, innocent soul. Or standing right here next to me.
Old hag? Who are you talking about?
The midwife, Božena. My wife, Ludmilla, gave birth to 3 daughters. Quick and easy every time. The village women often scream all day and night before they bring their babies into the world. Not my Ludmilla. When she had Marushka, it was all over before the midwife even got here. But when Yaroslav was coming into the world, you know, I knew already I'd finally have a son. I never sent for no help. Why would I? After all, Ludmilla done it all on her own 3 times. And besides, that Božena is an unclean woman and a witch. Only this time, something went wrong. Of course, I wasn't there. Being a God-abiding man, I was outside. But Marushka comes running out, shouting, "Pa, send for Božena! Ma's poorly!" I thought twice about it, but then I sent for her. She came along with a little girl, Pablena, and a whole sack of herbs. She started brewing right away, and before the night was out, she was pouring God knows what kind of concoction down Ludmilla's throat. It's a wonder she didn't poison her, the crone. I couldn't get a wink of sleep all night. It wasn't till daybreak that Božena came out of the house, carrying in her arms. They could see right off it was a boy. Like I said, only Yaroslav came out feet first. And as they were pulling him out, well, he was all Mother of God. I can't even say it. It was that Bozena's doing, I tell you. If she hadn't pulled him out and left Ludmilla to manage herself, he could have lived.
So you still blame her for it?
And why shouldn't I? I haven't told you the half of it yet. I asked the priest, and he told me every midwife has the sacred right to perform baptism when things go wrong. Like when it looks bad for the child, see? She can baptize him, make sure he gets to heaven. And you know what Bozena did?
What?
Not a thing. She looked at that little body lying still and didn't do a damned thing. And my wife died a few hours later. So I'm sure you understand what I did after. That same evening, I got the other fellas from the village, and we drove that damned witch out beyond the boundary stone.
I see. She lives in the woods now.
A good thing, too. She hasn't shown up here since. Many times I told myself we should have done more to her, so she'd know how I felt.
Thank you for telling me about it. You have my condolences.
Aye, but words won't bring them back.
I'd like to ask you more about your son, Yaroslav, if that's all right with you.
Ask away.
When did your son die?
Well, Yaroslav would have been 5 years old now.
What about your other children?
One of my daughters got married and moved out. Marushka and Olina are still here. Once they get married, I'll be left all alone on the farm.
Why? One of them could live on the farm with her husband, couldn't she? Lots of fellows would give the right arm for a place like this.
Aye, true enough. Only a father should pass his livelihood on to his son, goddammit! Don't tell me it's different where you come from.
My pa was a blacksmith. He taught me his trade since I was little. He wasn't my father by blood, but he took me as his own from the day I was born.
Really? What kind of man would take in another's child?
An honourable man. Blood isn't everything. You know yourself. You'll find husbands for your daughters, and you'll be glad to have them take care of you in your old age. Like it should be. And one day your livelihood will pass on to your grandchildren. Nothing ends.
I suppose you're right.
I don't have any more questions. Thanks. Look, I know relations between you and Bozena the herb woman aren't good, but it's time to put an end to the animosity.
Where are you going with this? That witch deserves no pity.
I understand your bitterness, and I'm sorry about your son. Bozena would certainly have saved him if she could, but whatever happened between you, it has to end now. Bozena came very close to losing her daughter on account of your feud. Your farmhands abducted her, and they killed her sweetheart.
But I had nothing to do with that. They did it of their own free will, not on my orders.
That means nothing. They did it because of you. They wanted you to be indebted to them.
But that's not my fault, and I don't see why I should have to make up with Bozena on account of it.
Listen, I know a thing or two about revenge. And believe me, sometimes you just have to say enough and turn the other cheek. Because otherwise, it will never end.
You know nothing. I can't simply forgive her.
Well, then do it on account of Pablena. After all, she's not to blame for anything. But she's the one who's suffering most from your feud.
Christ almighty. You're talking like the parish priest. I'll send Bozena. Compensation. I never wanted anything to happen to her daughter, and she's the one who suffered most from that banishment. She can't have been more than 10 years old. I give my word that I won't do anything bad to them, And those two fools of Hans, they won't show up here again. And if they do, I'll haul them off to the bailiff myself. I swear to God. Božena and Pavlena could return to the village.
Very well. It's about time this chain of vengeance was broken for good. Give me the money, and I'll take it to Božena. But God alone knows whether she'll forgive you.
Thank you. It's time for us all to get on with our lives. I hope Božena will understand that. Amen.
You're always welcome here.
About Jakesh.
Is it done?
I didn't kill him, because I finally managed to get him to agree.
Agree? On what?
I told him everything, and it was clear from his reaction that he wasn't directly to blame. His farmhands did it all by themselves. He was so sorry that he gave me coin for you and Pavlena in recompense. It's quite a lot of money. Pavlena could use it.
And you really believe him? That he'll leave us alone?
Well, I don't think he'll ever forgive you. But I believe he won't try to hurt you anymore.
I hope you're right. I'd hate to regret it later. Thank you, Henry. If it wasn't for you, I'd have lost my daughter. You should keep half the coin.
No, I can't accept it. Pavlena will need the money more than I do.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. Keep it.
Henry, what would we do without you? God himself must have sent you to us. If it wasn't for you, I'd have lost my daughter. I'll be forever grateful to you. If you need anything, come and visit us. We'll be happy to see you. It was good to see you, my friend.